What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with another Megaman X character overview video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Vergil Trigger Zero, our release soon in the global version. All right, here we're taking a look at Zero Vergil Trigger. I think I said the name in the wrong order on the in the intro there, but that is fine. Coming in hot with a cool looking intro right there. Let's take a look at his splash screen real quick. Not bad there, looking real cool. I really love the blue and the black of the armor here. All right, let's take a look at the active skills. First up, we have Z Hell on Earth. Deals about 300% attack damage to all targets within range, and will cause the target to become immobile when hit. The Devil Trigger gauge is full. When you use a skill, you will enter a Devil Trigger status that cannot be removed. The power of Devil Trigger status will be enhanced. Wait, what? Oh, Devil Trigger status will be enhanced when using Devil Trigger. Okay, that should say that the power of Z Hell on Earth is enhanced when you're in Devil Trigger mode. That's worded really weirdly. It threw me off. So, for the skills here, we have Out of Control, fitting with Z Hell on Earth. Targets horizontal moves become reversed. Not bad. Weapon Seal, when hitting a target with Z Hell on Earth, render the target unable to use their weapon. And we have Showtime, and not suffer negative side effects while using Z Hell on Earth. And let me check here real quick. Okay, you actually aren't immune to damage naturally while using this skill, unfortunately. So, you're just immune to side effects while using the skill. Not bad. This is obviously a more PvP oriented skill here. Following that, we have Z Judgment Cut and perform an extremely quick charging slash to the target to deal 66% attack damage to your attack and create a light slash that will continue to deal damage to the target on the spot. When playing arena, you can use a skill to teleport you to the location of your target and ignore terrain. If the target is available, attack will be formed on the spot. You are invulnerable to any attack during the duration of the skill. You can use Z Judgment Cut and repeatedly. After this trigger, only be triggered with a 4-second cooldown. If the Devil Trigger gauge is full when you use a skill, you enter Devil Trigger status that cannot be removed. The power of light slashing will be enhanced within Devil Trigger status. Devil Trigger gauge will increase over time. There is a lot to go over with this skill. So you can use this repeatedly inherently. So it's already fantastic there for that. You can see here, there's also a lot of other things kicked into this. It does continuous damage to targets within range of the slashes. Let me check the wiki real quick to see if they have a damage modifier on that. Unfortunately, they do not have a damage modifier for the damage slashes to inflict on the wiki here, unfortunately. But this is your gap closer, which you use to just teleport to a target and then deal damage immediately. So that's pretty good there. You also are immune to damage while using this attack. Good there. And you can use it repeatedly. So that's also great. For the modifier chips, we have Dynamic Destruction. When it hits, reduce the movement speed by 50%. A fat slow right there. Skill Seal, when hitting a target with Z-Judgment Cut and render the target unable to use skills. Not bad. And then we have Showtime for enabling True Showtime here. Which you might end up using. You'll probably end up using Showtime on this one. And then maybe you'll go... you might go on Showtime on both. It's really up to the player. Because you could try to go for a double seal thing you could do there, because you could weapon seal here and you can skill seal here. You could also go with the dynamic destruction, because that's also pretty good, as what this allows you to do is, well, their movement speed will be halved, so they won't be able to escape you. You can use your skill again, and then you can just unload with damage, or what have you. Problem is that gets shut down hard by burning shield, so you have to watch out for that. But that's just something to keep in mind. So for the passive skills here, we have half demon, and I assume Vergil is like a half demon or half devil or something. I don't know. I don't play Devil May Cry, so these references are lost on me for the most part. I'll reduce damage taken by 50%, which isn't bad. Increase damage done by 10% on enemy by 10%, which is pretty nice here. So damage mitigation here as well. After launching Z Judgment Cut and restores 24% of the 24% of your attack's HP will be triggered after once more for a 3-second cooldown. So you can't get the heal by spamming the ability with the inherent restriction off that it has. But just this here, 15 mid, 10 amp. It's pretty good. Next up, we have Devil Form. When attacked, the Devil Trigger gauge is increased. Damage inflicted during the Devil Trigger status increased by 30%, and damage received reduced by 15%. And when a target is immobile, increased damage by 20%. So you have a lot of damage amp here. So you have 30% damage increase when they're in when you're just in Devil Trigger status, plus another 20% if they're immobile, and then plus a 10% here. That's already a lot of damage amplification there. And then you have the 30% damage mitigation when you're in Devil Trigger status as well, and it can't be removed, which is a really big point there. Next, you have melee proficiency. When equipping a melee weapon, damage increased, damage you deal is increased by 20%, and damage you take is reduced by 20%. So again, even more damage amplification, damage mitigation. Just inherently 30% damage mitigation for existing. So that's good. Oh no, I'm sorry, 35% damage mitigation there simply for existing, and 25% or 35. Wait, no. Ugh. Wow. Okay, 30 damage amplification for existing with a melee weapon, and 35% damage mitigation for existing with a melee weapon. There, that. Gain healing enhancement status after defeating a target, which is more for PvE, realistically. But you know, that is, I guess, good to make use of, and you could make use of that in PvE or PvP as well. This effect cannot be triggered if the target is knocked down by a debuff that causes continuous damage. Yeah, so you get you basically get a double healing effect. So this should heal 48% instead of the 24. And then whatever else you have get doubled as well. Like you have the Batten card or the Hino and Minoto card, you know. So there's that. Next skill. Rapid mobility, again, acceleration status for the cannot be removed, which is good after using the judgment cut, and increasing movement speed by 40%. Good there. 40% is pretty nice. Dodge increased by a total 20%. Effect may be reduced depending on enemy hit points. So you have dodge here again on another unit. I say again because Shadow Armor X also has dodge. So you have a chance of just not getting hit at all. So you might not even need to worry about having mitigation. It's like, oh, your opponent is going to hit you with a strong move. Maybe they didn't. You have a 1 in 5% chance of that not happening to you. So that can be pretty annoying if you're on the opposing side of that. Movement speed is very, very good, though, because that allows you to engage and disengage more easily. You could also use that in race mode as well. And then power is everything. When you equip 2 melee weapons at the same time, increase damage by 30%. You can perform Z Hell on Earth again when you are hit, and you gain a shield that grants invulnerability from all damages and debuffs. This effect will trigger once more after 7 cooldown. You gain an impressive shield off of this. I don't know how long the shield lasts, though. Information isn't on the wiki. I'm assuming just maybe like 1 second, 1 to 2 seconds. Can only trigger when it says on a cooldown. But also, so if you equip 2 melee weapons at the same time, you get 30% boost from that. You get the 20% boost from so that's already a 50% boost. Then you get the 10% boost from you, that's 60. And then if you're in a Devil Trigger mode, that's a 90% damage boost. And then if they're immobilized, that's a lot. That's a lot of damage boosting there that you have access to with Vergil Trigger 0. And I don't know if he's supposed to be stronger than Dante or not. I have no idea. But you know, he has a lot of attack buffing in his kit. As for the DNA, this character also does not have DNA, so nothing to really go over there. I'm not sure if he will get DNA before the game actually ends, so if he does, I'll keep you posted on that. But let's take a look at some weapons that might go well with Zero Vergil Trigger. All right, now Zero Vergil Trigger apparently wants to use double melee, so that's a good option. But you know what else is a good option? Buster melee. So we're going to go over a little bit of that as well. As per usual suspects. Sniper Buster here. I recommend this just because it is a sniper style buster and it's pretty free to play friendly. In the sense that you can make this for free once you hit level 8 in the research lab. See here, research level 8. So you can just start making this if you can't pull it for some reason. Explosive Bolt is the one I recommend the most out of these sniper style busters. It is a fantastic weapon, has insane range, has insane damage potential. However, damage potential is affected by its hidden skill, penetration. I always recommend Player Killer because it's a lot less work to have to worry about. You just exist with Player Killer and you will do the damage you need, whereas with penetration, it has a higher damage ceiling. However, you have to be able to ricochet your shots off of terrain and stuff, which can be affected by, you know, the positioning of your enemy, the map you're on. If you're on a more open map, you're not really going to be able to get as many ricochets and things like that. But yeah, that is something there. Oops. Hawk Precision Buster, not a bad weapon. I think it's probably one of the most disheartening of the sniper style busters. It's really cool in theory, like on paper. It has a passive that lets you pierce terrain if you hit a target in mid to long range. Problem is, you have to hit a target in mid to long range first before you can pierce terrain. So I think it'd be broken if you didn't have to pierce terrain first, but here you are. You can see in quick hunt status, flight speeds increase and ignores terrain. So that's quite nice there. Other than that, I would just recommend getting this. I think this is a lot better as a sniper style buster. There is also the destructive laser as an option as well. Both destructive laser and hawk laser buster are limited weapons though, so you have to be mindful of that. This does have a little bit less damage than the other weapons. However, this has a higher rate of fire. This fires faster, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Then we have Ultimate Blast. Ultimate Blast is a fantastic weapon. It is limited. However, if you want Ultimate Blast, you probably have to pull for this before Zero Bullet Trigger comes out, just because this weapon should go away before Zero Bullet Trigger come out, I'm pretty sure. And there is that. You can always pull for it later. Let me rephrase that. You can always pull for it later, but the banner for this is live right now. And if you want both of them, I would prioritize Zero Vergil Trigger, because Zero Vergil Trigger is basically one and done from what we've known. And the Taiwan version, the banners only run once. And then the game hit end of service announcement, so there's that. But this weapon is fantastic. What this weapon has to offer, one of the things is right here. A laser overload hits a target will become immobile. It shoots a laser, which is pretty cool, but the main thing, laser overload will still auto aim. The shot and laser overload will still auto aim in a state of confusion or automatic aims turned off. This is what gives it that effect, so that it will always auto aim regardless of the status of the user. Right here, complete penetration, so you just ignore landscape barriers. Berserk shot also doubles the amount of damage each shot does, but uses more energy. So this says 34% attack damage. In reality, it's 64% because it gets doubled because of Berserk shot, but only while you have this buff active. So that's something to keep in mind as well. As for the melee weapons, if you're actually going to go double melee, you will probably need 2 melee weapons. First up, Nightmare. Nightmare is just a good weapon all around. You swing it around, you get an attack buff. That's basically it. That's why I use Nightmare. It also is really hard to run out of energy with Nightmare. Like if you're dash slashing, you're probably not running out of energy with Nightmare, just because of that's just how Nightmare is. Ancient Relic's a good utility weapon here. It has utility with its burn and its hidden skills. It has access to a speed rune, which probably don't really need to use because you already have a fat speed boost. But if you want to go real fast, you can use that. It has a protect rune as well. I think Protect Rune is actually better in PvE. Speed Rune is better in PvP, but yeah, Protect Rune is something else you could make use of as well. Grudge Axe, weapon I don't like, but is real good, so I always have to bring it up. Grudge Axe, what it does is it can inflict out of control status, so the horizontal movements of the opposition get reversed, and it has the chance to steal a random buff from the target, which is very important because some buffs cannot be stolen. I say that's really important because Zero's Devil Trick status cannot be stolen, so that's very, very important to note that it cannot be stolen with Grudge Axe. However, things that can be stolen, like generic attack boost, generic speed boost, things like that, well, like you can take them. And this has a chance, it's only a 30% chance once you unlock this passive. However, with this passive right here, it's a 60% chance. And you might be thinking, it's like, well, that's not very high. Yes, however, because of dash slashing, it's 60% chance per hit. So each hit you do has a 60% chance of triggering this passive, and because of how many hits dash slashing does, odds are you're going to trigger it more than once successfully. Following that, we have Red Lotus Saber, another fantastic weapon here. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Grudge Axe is a limited weapon here. Red Lotus Saber is a fantastic weapon as well. Here, Red Lotus Saber has quite a few good things about it. It has damage over time, dot damage, burn. It has a speed boost, so you can go real fast. It has armor crush, you can do even more damage. It has very little salvo, so you can deal even more damage on top of your damage. And then it has damage over time, or continuous damage, special attack as well. It has boss killer, but you're not going to use that unless you're fighting a boss. But yeah, this Red Lotus Saber is a good weapon. If I go throw Berserker Greatsword in here as well, just because if you want to actually go double melee, this is an option here. Berserker Greatsword actually isn't all that great anymore. I still like it because I like Star Force, but What this does have, this has another fat, um, another fat movement penalty buff. So you can make sure the opponent really doesn't have fun and get to move. With that, you also have access to a dimensional rift, which creates a rift on the spot, so that deals continuous damage to them right there. Dash slash increases damage of dash slashes, and for its hidden skills, damage enhancement status, which actually isn't good. Um, Never mind. I thought this gave you damage enhancement. I didn't. I forgot it was a special attack one. That's actually not very good. Coming over here for the Singularity Slasher. Singularity Slasher is basically a side grade to the Grudge Axe. Singularity Slasher does as it guaranteed gets rid of buffs. However, the trade-off for that is instead of getting rid of the buffs off the opposition and giving them to you, this just straight dispels the buffs. But why dispel a buff when you could take it and use it for yourself, right? Because the ones that can't be removed, this isn't going to get rid of anyway. Neither is Grudge Axe, but I mean, this doesn't matter which one you're using at that point. This is guaranteed, though, however, and you can get up to 2 with this, but like I said, why dispel the buff when I could just take it for myself and use it? This is also a limited weapon, so there is that as well. And finally, there is Miracle Blade. Now, Miracle Blade is not out yet in the global version of the game. Hey, Future Kenny here. So apparently Miracle Blade is actually supposedly coming out soon in the global version of the game. I DM'd 0x to ask about it. I'll include a screenshot here as well. But that should be coming out on Wednesday alongside Zero, Vergil, Trigger as well. So the Miracle Blade will be coming out around then. Just want to let you guys know that. This continues a trend of like the dive weapons that we're getting. Like you see here, it has a Z because this is from Dive Armor 0, basically. So what this weapon allows you to do, actually, is it allows you to launch energy blades that pierce terrain, which is pretty good. Cooldown time reduction when you exhaust your weapon energy. Jump Slash releases 3 energy blades that ignore terrain and obstacles. It also has another passive that inflicts a fat slow, which is good. And when hitting a player with a weapon attack with the energy blade, a chance to inflict healing dampen, which reduces the healing they receive by 60%. And when hitting a weapon with hitting a target with the attack or energy blade, there's a chance to reduce target's defense and increase damage by 32%, which just means more damage to deal. Also has status steal because Dive Armor Zero's weapon. Chance to randomly take 1 buff, which isn't bad. And then it has positioning system as well. Increases the range and flight speed of the energy blade by 30% and any tracking effect. As for the hidden skills, you have defense reduction special attack, which is fantastic there. When you're talking defense reduction status, you did 14% more damage, which this weapon already has access to as well. It also has player sentinel, but I mean, if you're using this weapon, you're probably going for damage anyway. Other than that, if you want to go, again, if you want to go something different, like with 1 melee weapon, Decides Will. Decides Will is just a fantastic weapon. Good zoning weapon. Not really much else to say about it. If you've been playing PvP, you basically know what this weapon does. Doesn't matter if you have auto aim turned off or not. It will still auto aim. It has lasers, it has tracking, all that fun stuff. Over to the card section here, and there's one of the Devil May Cry cards is pretty decent for this. This one, Vergil, right here. 2 melee weapons at the same time, increase damage by 8%. It'll bump up to 10% if you max out this card. So there is that. And then there's a chance to increase damage dealt when you perform any attack. And this is basically the effect of the Nightmare Sword, so that's something you can use right here. It triggers off of blue yellow, so you can add 2 of these together, so get an additional 18% for equipping 2 melee weapons. Dante is an option as well if you have to go Buster Melee, but for Buster Melee there's a much better combination, I believe. We're going to get to in just a moment here. Demon King Urzen is a solid choice as well for Player Killer 2. This is something you can stack on itself, as does Player Killer 2 and Absolute Evil, so you'll be able to make use of both of these here. Short range boost is also an option. I don't remember if we have the I Am the Messiah card in the global version of the game. I think that we do. But off chance we don't, just short range boost in general. Short range boost, basically, if that's melee weapon range. There isn't really a good way for me to like kind of paint the description of that for short range versus like zero range versus mid range. But yeah, if you're in melee weapon range, you're in short range. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And short range is generally better than zero range because short range includes zero range, if I'm not mistaken. Following that, there is the Akuma card from the Street Fighter event. Oh, if I didn't mention it, the Devil May Cry cards from the Devil May Cry collab. So if you miss out on them now, then like if you're watching this like just after Devil May Cry event, you won't be able to get them. But then you also probably won't have zero Vergil trigger either. But Akuma card is just good for PvP. Master of the Face can stack with itself. So you get a 4% or 6%, that's 10%. And this will stack with any level of Player Killer and Player Sentinel, as they are different names. Alongside that, there is the M Bison card, which has a Player Killer as well. Red Yellow can stack it upon itself. It's good to have there. Following that, we have the Elite Hunter, which is the premier setup for a Buster Melee, as it has damage amplification and damage mitigation for a Buster in Melee. You can get this from your guild, so be sure to try and get that when you can. You see I have a lot, that's because I get it from my guild. And right here you see a max copy of it has plus 10% damage amplification, damage mitigation, and a non-max copy has 8%. So you get 18% from this as well. Aside from that, for some other player killer options, we have Sigma X4 second form and the Life Ore card from base. You can get both of these from the token shop, so these are always available as long as you have the tokens to get them. But I have to mention when I was talking about the Elite Hunters card combo, you can use this to combo alongside the Elite Hunters as the X and Zero card. I don't believe this card is readily available to every player. However, it is something you can use as is a red card. It will trigger the red, red, blue for the Elite Hunters. And I forgot to mention the Twin Heroes card is a red card. I believe it has melee adaptability and melee amplification. Maybe it's swapped in the order it's in. I don't really know. It doesn't matter all that much because it triggers off of blue, blue, red, which is good with the Elite Hunter combo. And that is a more limited card as well. The only way you can get that is if you bought it when it was in the shop, or if you were playing during the monthly event and you got it through the monthly activity event. However, it is a good card to pair with the Elite Hunter combo as well. And alongside that, you can also use Access Memories as well for the Elite Hunter combo. For the Buster amplification, if you would like to use that instead. Again, you see red, blue here, so this is for the Buster side of it though. And you can get this from the Deep Recorder. You see I have quite a few of these because I've been getting some of the Deep Recorder, and at the less than 5-star you get 60% instead of the 8%. All right, that one was potentially a little bit shorter than usual because I have some more things I need to take care of in a little bit here. So apologies if this seemed a bit rushed. However, that's going to be it for Zero Vergil Trigger. Now, should you pull for Zero Vergil Trigger if you want him? Realistically, he has a very limited unit, so if you do like Devil May Cry, I would, advise pulling for him. Or if you think he looks cool, you can go ahead and pull for him. There is that. He's not a bad unit by any means. He is more PvP oriented with his skills, as you can see. Like he has his skills are more there for PvP. But he isn't as I guess generic, so to speak, as you would use a Dante Trigger X. Though to counteract that point, it doesn't really matter if he's as generic, really, I don't think, because again, you can use basically whatever you want in PvE. So at this point, like he has a screen nuke, like most of the units have these days with the Z Hell on Earth. This isn't really a screen nuke, but it hits multiple targets, so you can easily use him in PvE. But yeah, he's much better in PvP. Something that he might be decent in though is Total Power Battle, where I think it's a Lightning Battle might be decent because of his wide hitting skills, or potentially versus the bosses in that with the melee proficiency, power is everything. And just like his overall, because he has so much potential for damage amplification. He even has hitting an immobile target. You can inflict immobilize on bosses. I just don't think it really does much on them, but it will still count for boosting power where they are immobilized. So you can make use of that as well. So he should be able to pump out some real numbers in Total Power Battle because you need multiple units for that. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's go try and enjoy the content. Quick shout out, as per usual, to my YouTube channel members on my Patreon. Thank you for supporting me to continue doing what I do. If you'd like to support me as a YouTube channel member or as a channel patron, you can find the information down below in the video description. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Later.